And like, if we speak of electrification beyond vehicles, I mean, you're talking about this idea that if we electrify, we can then decarbonize. That was a lot of what was driving the whole thing, at least from a macro sense. It was like, you can't, it's harder to decarbonize fossil fuels than it is electricity. And so that's one of the like driving factors behind why we would want to have this kind of mass adoption towards electrification of transportation, being that that is one of the major sources of pollution, emissions, GHG, greenhouse gases.
I think a lot of it though is that adoption of, I guess, the mindset of how to operate under that. Because I don't know if you guys ran into the same problem of like the total range anxiety. I mean, I think we all experience it a little bit when like the phone decides to start to give up its battery, where you're like halfway through the day and you're like, man, battery's low. But then for some reason, when you're operating a vehicle, it's like, oh, battery's low. I'm going to be on the side of the road. What do I do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it a hard adoption rate to that side of
But that's
things?
to me why I think Tesla took off. I mean, obviously there's so many factors that made Tesla and the Model 3 really the big one. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
you had the original Roadster that was like super aspirational. It was like if you drove a Porsche 911 and you wanted the newfangled thing, you got it in one of those Roadsters or whatever. But it wasn't for the average bear. And then the S came out, which was, I think, a smart move, in that they were like, oh, so let's use this aspirational thing to build a market, meaning not everybody's going to buy this Model S. It's a luxury car. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's big. It's solid. It's like if you drive a Mercedes S Class or whatever, like this, you're going to feel at home in this thing. And so we all watched that happen. Very few of us were like, yeah, let's go spend 100 grand on a car, right? Like it was just kind of like watching it. And it became this thing where the people with affluence and the people that had the means were buying these things because they were a sick car, right? Like if you think about how close the time window was between what I remember as electric vehicles was the freaking Nissan Leaf, dude.
Yeah.
You remember that thing? Like I was like, I like that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It's slow, it's clunky, it's just whatever. And then not that far down the road is the Model S, where you're like, what the hell is this thing? I remember a writer described it as Beyonce in a lounge chair, is what the shape of that thing looked like. That was the analogy. And I was like, that's kind of a cool analogy.
It had
right?
the hips.
So,
it was all chill.
yeah, just had that like, picture, Beyonce in a chaise lounge. You're like, that's the car, right?